Today I'm going to share my transformational story. And this is something that I've never shared publicly. In fact, only my closest friends and family really know where I started from in the transformation process I made. This story kind of starts after high school. You know, when you leave home and you're on your own, you have a lot of freedom and you can make certain choices you probably couldn't make otherwise. But during this time, with all this extra freedom, I'm able to go to get the drive-through, the fast food. I'm able to drink what I want. And that's where I believe a lot of the bad habits started, right there, if I was to take personal responsibility for that. During this time, that's when me and Andrea got together, started dating. As a new couple, we hung out a lot. We went out to dinners, we went out, had fun, and health was never on my mind. I picked up a lot of bad habits during this time. If it was tobacco use, if it was drinking, or making poor nutrition choices. And it only got worse when Andrea became pregnant with our first child. Being a young father-to-be, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have that handbook that said, do this, do that. My instincts were just to make Andrea as comfortable as possible because there's nothing else I could do as this expecting father. Every day for 9 months, we went out to eat and spent lots of money just on food, ice cream, whatever I could do to make her feel better. And it worked. I mean, it definitely was comforting. It fit the bill at that time. It wasn't until my son was born, we realized we both gained 60 pounds of extra weight. Obviously she had the kid, but I gained it right with her. And these bad habits continued. At that time, I didn't really have a purpose, and I needed to make a career change for my family. And this is when I decided to go to the police academy. But before you get hired to the police academy, you got to pass a series of tests. One of those tests was a physical fitness test. And I remember for this particular agency that I was applying for, I had to run, I think it was 400 yards in a minute 45. And I just thought to myself, there's no way I can do this. I knew that morning I weighed in around 275 pounds. And I was with a bunch of other guys who were physically fit. And I was like, I'm the fat kid here. There's no way I'm gonna be able to do this. Well, once they blew that whistle and it was time to go, I started running as fast as I could. And I remember as I was probably hitting that 300-yard mark, I was sprinting as fast as I can. I just felt like I had nothing left in me whatsoever. And just for a brief moment, I remember that I needed to do this for my son and for my wife to make a better life for us. And the only way I could describe it is that I was just throwing my hips left and right, trying to get momentum, to get my legs to go. And I ended up crossing the finish line almost in disbelief. I was like, well, that wasted time. And the guy looks at me and says, hey dude, you passed. You did it in a minute 44. I didn't even believe it. And for that brief moment, I knew what my why was to be healthy. It was my family. But honestly, that didn't last long. That faded away. It didn't stick because I was able to go to the academy, passed it, got hired on. But when I became a sworn police officer, the problems continued. And I had another 2 kids during this time, and I would try these different diets, go up and down every single time. I just didn't click for me what I needed to do to be healthy. I just remember that even though we had to work these crazy hours, I could never stick to a healthy plan. I was going through drive-through constantly. I was feeling like crap every single day, never had a good night's sleep. My health was spiraling out of control. I remember at one doctor's visit, the doctor pulled me aside and he was very direct with me, and he said, Chris, you too fat. I'm like, oh, thanks, sir. And he's like, no, stop eating from your kids' food on their plates. And I thought to myself, how do you even know that? But you know what? He was right. I mean, I had these bad eating habits where I never wanted to waste anything. I just ate everything I could. But in all seriousness, he told me no, your vitals are out of control. Your blood work looks like crap. And he was pointing all these numbers out to me. And I didn't understand at the time, but I was like, geez, Well, this continued for several more years. It continued to the point where my weight was causing problems, not only in my personal life at home, where I was irritable, I wasn't sleeping right, I had no energy whatsoever, no drive in life, and I was just taking every day as it came and just hoping to get through it. And then the injuries started popping up. I tore up the ligaments on my ankle, torn bicep, rotator cuffs, but the big one is when the disc problem in my spine started happening, which took me out for several months. And I knew that my weight had to play a role in this thing. Although that we carry all this gear on us, I wasn't doing myself any favors by carrying around this extra weight on my body. Not having the right frame of mind, I thought this time keto's the answer. Tried that, went right back to where I was. Maybe it's intermittent fasting. Tried that, went down, came right back where I was. Every kind of pill, Every kind of supplement you could think of, I tried it. Continued, none of that even worked. Busted my butt in the gym, no results. October of 2018, when my wife was introduced to this program by my brother, but she did this program and she started killing it. The pounds started coming off. And it wasn't just the weight, it was her whole being, her whole frame of mind have changed. This is a woman who suffers from anxiety, and now that was gone. She was like a whole new person inside of our household. She fell in love with this program so much that she decided that she wanted to help other people with their health journeys, kind of give back to what she was been given. And I knew she was doing this, and I still naysayed it. I still said, I don't need to do that. You can have all those other people do what they need to do to lose weight. I got this. I was so hard-headed. Then I realized that I didn't know what I was doing. I never knew what I was doing. I wanted to know why she was doing so well, why my brother was doing so well, why all these other family members were doing so well that have joined this program, as well as this whole community I got to see inside was doing so well. And not just losing the weight, but everyone's was just so positive. I kind of felt jealous and I wanted that. New Year's Eve, 2018. I said, honey, I'm in. I want to start off 2019 like you do. And I was able to get my first box. And I remember the box came and I started the program. She set me up. I now had a coach. I now had a community. I knew what I needed to do to get my health in check. Every other time I tried to lose weight, it was such a lonely process because I was on my own. A lot of my friends were also overweight, and you can't talk about it with them if you're the only one doing it because no one cares. But you know what? I jumped on program. My first 20 pounds came off like that in a month. And I was no working out because I was eating 5 Fuelings a day and 1 Lean and Green. And the next month, 10 pounds came off. I was able to transform my body like never before. In fact, I was at a weight where I was in high school. And the reason why I was able to accomplish this is because, like I said, I had the support from my health coach, but I also had this community behind me. And I learned what my why was. I had a glimpse of it about 10 years earlier when I was running that 400 yards. And once I kind of rekindled that why, things just became clear. And the drive for me to get where I needed to go became so intense because I knew what I had to do for my family. Except this time I had 3 boys I was doing it for, as well as my wife. I've been on program now for over a year. And what I love about this program is that I was able to utilize it, not just to lose the fat, not just to put on muscle, but really what matters most are all these non-scale, non-body composition victories. When I went to the doctor mid last year when I had lost the weight, when he walked in there, he didn't even recognize me. It took him a second. He looked at my photo on the computer and he's like, we're gonna need a new photo of you, dude. Which was, it was kind of cool that there was such a drastic change in my appearance. I did a complete blood panel and he's like, you have just added about 30 years to your life. And that hit me like a ton of bricks when he said that, because I knew that that's what matters. I need to be here for my children. I need to be here for my grandchildren. I need to be here for my wife. But as time went on, I noticed that these other non-scale victories, my life was changing. I had more drive in life. I was more active with my kids. I could take a picture and not have to worry about placing my kid in front of me because I was too embarrassed. Even last year, like sitting in an airplane, having some slack on the seatbelt. I mean, that's never happened. Like, those little things are so important because life just became easier. This process for me was so much more than losing some weight. You know, it did give me my life back. It gave me my drive back. I know that I'm going to be here for as long as God wants me here, but I'm going to try to maximize that time as much as I can. The good thing is that this story is still being written, guys. My journey is not over, and I don't really see a finish line because I'm going to continue to push the limits on what I can do, not just with the body, but with the mind. I am forever grateful what this program has given me. It's not just a weight loss program. It's not. It's so much more than that. And if you're willing to go through that process, truly want a transformational change within yourself, inside and out, this is something that I would hope you give a shot. Because I know I'm not the only one who has struggled for 2 decades trying to figure out the answer on how I can get to my goal. If there's someone on your heart that has maybe some of the issues that I just shared, share this video with them as well. Thank you guys for all the support. We'll see you in the next video.